All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. We're starting a couple minutes behind, but it'll be okay. Joy and I are pros at this. We will catch you up. My name is Jennifer Hortz. I'm an instructional designer for the COBA School of Business. So I work primarily with our faculty who are going to teach online or in a hybrid format, whether it's undergrad or at a graduate level.
I'm Joy Adams. I'm an instructional designer here in the library. I work in the Blackboard office upstairs in room 321, and I'll work with any of you who need help with your courses.
So today, Joy and I were talking about what's a really great workshop that we could put together for our faculty and staff to learn a little bit more about what Joy and I have been working with various professors on in the e-learning world. So what we want to share with you today are some tips and techniques, not that Joy and I have so much created, but what your fellow faculty members have created. So they are doing some amazing things in e-learning and online. So we wanted to share those with you. So today, you're not going to just hear from me and Joy telling me and lecturing about the best practices for e-learning. You're going to also hear from your fellow colleagues. Did it go? Fine. All right, great.
So as Jen mentioned, we've collected some examples of the excellent work our faculty and staff are doing today, and really, you know, this is a tool demo, but we're not going to teach you how to use these tools. Our goal today is really to give you some ideas and inspiration, and if you want to learn how to use some of these tools and techniques in your own courses, we encourage you to come to Blackboard support, CTRL, contact me or Jen directly. We'll be happy to connect you with the right resources that you need. So we've got three big topics we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about creating and using video content. We're going to talk about course collaboration, and we're going to talk about assessment. And we're also really excited that a few of the folks you're going to see and hear from today are also in the room with us. So we have some expertise right here if you want to ask some questions after the session. So y'all ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to start off by talking a little bit about creating and using video content. So how do we deliver content to our students in a virtual mode? And this is also useful if you're teaching face-to-face because you can put things online for students who miss class or things for them to do outside of class if you're teaching with a flipped classroom type pedagogy. We're going to spotlight a few tools today. There's also additional tools that you can use. And you may use this for a variety of purposes like recording lectures, giving video feedback, streaming presentations and content, recording a live session like the one today that's being recorded for CTRL to show another group later, and also for synchronous and asynchronous delivery of content. So we're going to go right into the examples because we have tons of content, and we don't want to talk too much. So our first submission is from our colleague Bev Peters, who's actually in the room today. Bev is at the back. Thank you so much for being here. Bev is a wizard at presenting video content, as you are about to see in this excellent clip she's put together for us. Not ideal, but it'll work, right? Okay.
Over the years, I have used different kinds of video in my online courses to engage students in academic contents. I have used flipcam and webcam videos, voiceover slideshows created using Microsoft PowerPoint, videos inserted into slideshows created using Keynote, and Powtoons created using freeware available online.
I have found that one of the most meaningful ways for me to engage students in lecture material is through the use of case studies. Case studies help to illustrate points and get students thinking and analyzing the topic. Let's listen in on one of my lectures, a lecture on observation and participant observation for my qualitative methods and evaluation course.
The data that we collect through observation and participant observation is extremely useful for us as evaluators. In its chicken cooperative in Nigeria, leadership initiatives use these methods to observe and understand local level need and to develop appropriate objectives, activities, and indicators to measure progress. Liaising with a local level leader to gain access to the backstage, project managers from leadership initiatives were able to build the rapport needed to be accepted into the community. There, project managers observed what Spradley calls the world of observation: participants, activities, scenes, conversations, symbols, and subtle factors, including nonverbal communication.
In my qualitative methods class, I start out with a concept, and then I develop a script that helps to guide a video. Rather than just talking about academic content, I relate that content to a case study using footage from my practical work or the practical work of a colleague that helps to illustrate and bring that academic course material to life. Making videos such as these is actually easier than you might think, especially if you're using a program such as iMovie to edit the video and GarageBand to edit the audio. Think about your concepts, apply them to a case study, pose questions or even riddles for your students to think about and solve as they learn.
I love the sound of that.
Bev, I must say, that's pretty spiffy.
Yeah.
You can tell you've been doing the recorded lectures for a while, right? Pretty comfortable with the tool?
Yeah.
But how did you start out? Did you just
I
make
started out with that, the first part, just talking into a flip cam.
Yep.
And then I did voiceover PowerPoint after that. And then I figured out how to do PowerPoint and insert a little video into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I figured out that these kind of little videos that are a bit more practical and apply the material to something else, students are more likely to watch and be involved.
Right.
So that's what I try to do. I've got some footage. A former student of mine, Marshall Bailey, works in Nigeria. And so he has sent me hours and hours of footage. And so I go through and I pick out these little clips and to add to the class.
Perfect. So this is a well-oiled machine is what she is working. She has practiced and done this many times, probably over the last couple of years. You've really perfected this way of making movies and capturing your recordings. You can start, like she said, voice over PowerPoint. You can start holding up your cell phone, making some quick videos. You can use Kaltura, which is supported by AU, and they provide training on it. There's all different ways to use recorded lectures. And you can use them not only for outside of the classroom, but also inside of the classroom. Think about how many times as a professor you put up a YouTube clip, or you've had a snowy day and you've needed to quickly create a video and put it out there. There's all different ways to record different lectures and to use that material. So don't be afraid, just try it, okay?
And as we move forward, you're going to see videos of all different levels of production values. We're starting at the top of the rainbow, all right? We are going to see some things that are a little bit quicker, a little bit dirtier, but I think you're going to find that they are still effective in delivering content, regardless of whether or not they have super high production values. And as we move forward and you're looking at these examples, and I kind of guessed with Bev because you mentioned it in the video, if she used iMovie, did you? Okay, perfect. Wherever we show you a video, you're going to see how it was created so you know what kinds of tools you might be able to use. And some of these you already have access to, and others we can provide you with training and support on. So as we move through these examples, watch for those little cues. The next topic we're going to talk a bit about is course collaboration. We're going to spotlight a variety of tools, some of them involving video and synchronous interaction, other things involving writing and research collaboration. What I'll do to save us a little bit of time, because we got a late start, is I'll post these slides for you guys on the Blackboard site for this session. So if you miss one of these things or you're trying frantically to scribble notes, you can refer back to this later so we can see all the different assets. Sound good?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so rather than reading to you.
Got one question.
Hi, I'm very new. My name is Peggy, and I'm teaching an online MBA class with the 2U KSB. So the Blackboard, is that, that's separate from that, is that right?
It is. Peggy, you
Okay.
and I need to connect.
Okay.
So I do instructional design within COCAS, so I work with all the faculty.
Okay, okay,
Yeah?
great, okay.
Great. Are you going to be a section faculty?
Well, I'm just teaching the class for the first time now, so
Yeah. Okay, you and I will
I'm
connect.
hoping to hang around for a while.
Well, awesome. We'd love for you to hang around for a while. Fantastic. We will connect after the
Okay,
session.
great.
Sure.
So our next virtual presenter is actually also here in the room with us, Danielle Lancaster. Danielle is a new adjunct faculty member in COGOD, and she's going to tell us a little bit about how she used some video conferencing tools to host guest speakers in her classes.
So Blackboard is very useful on so many levels, but one of my
I'm sorry, I was trying to adjust the volume. Take two.
So Blackboard is very useful on so many levels, but one of my favorite components is the collaborative component. In terms of my courses, I teach the Introduction to the Fashion Business course, and we tend to have lots of guest speakers throughout the semester. But obviously, lots of our guest speakers are in New York and London and Italy, so they can't all physically be here to participate in the class with us. So the beauty of the collaborative features are being able to have the person enter our classroom, be a part of the class, have Q&A. The students really have a great opportunity to still get to know the guest speaker. So for me, for the fall semester, we use Collaborate quite a bit as well as Skype. To have the digital component available and to have our guests be able to comfortably and easily enter our room was amazing. We had guests come in from London who we used Collaborate with, and we were able to do a full class session, questions and answers. The students were even able to send over questions, type over questions during the session to the guest speaker that we had. We also had Under Armour do a takeover of our class using the digital features as well, Skyping in. They took over for the full class from their color studio in Baltimore to speak about their involvement in the Olympics and how much work it took and what it took in terms of their team. So that was an amazing component to be able to have Under Armour literally come in digitally, take over our classroom, and the students really loved it, and they were able to participate. They were able to ask questions direct to the guest speakers. They were able to have a Q&A, a correspondence. So it was a really, really wonderful feature. I couldn't actually imagine my class without it, because to not have those guest speakers and to be able to work well with our guest speakers and their schedule was really important, because obviously many of them are really busy in terms of what they do, and they're very gracious to take the time out to spend with us in the classroom. So to be able to help them and to still have the students engaged in a digital format is really helpful. I would always encourage, a lot of times it's wonderful to have a physical guest speaker come in, but if you don't have the opportunity because of the weather, because of scheduling, using the digital features, using Skype, using Collaborate are amazing tools to be able to still have a full class session, to be able to still have those wonderful guest speakers come in for your students as well. And again, the students loved it. They emailed me after the end of the class about how they loved all the guest speakers, whether they were physically present or digitally present. And again, moving forward and moving more towards a digital classroom format is really important, just because we are in a global environment and we need to be able to engage people globally. So to that end, using Collaborate and Skype is extremely helpful in the classroom setting.
So Danielle, again, is available if you guys want to speak with her after the session and hear a little bit more about her experiences. I'm sorry, Jen.
I was just going to say, something really important that Danielle said was, remember, those weather happens, appointments happen, so those guest speakers, when they can't show up and be there present in the classroom, another option to say to that guest speaker is, could we Skype with you? We know this is happening. Could we Skype with you for 15 minutes? And most folks are pretty good on Skype, but that's one way not to lose your entire class because your guest speaker didn't show up. If you can just grab 15 minutes of them. So if there's something to take away from this, it's grab a tool that you can use, whether it's going to be Collaborate, Skype, know the basics of it so you know you can offer those out to guest speakers so that they can still join in if they can't be there present.
Yes, Bev.
Is there a button on Blackboard Collaborate where you can record it so that you can put it into the class?
Yes, you can. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can. Yeah. It's integrated right in Collaborate. You click a button, it starts the recording. When you're done, you stop, and it automatically puts it in your Blackboard course.
Okay, and then to get the captions on it, you have to export it to YouTube or something?
Exactly. Yeah, you can. I can give you a little demo on how to do that sometime. You can also contact the folks at ASAC for further assistance on different tools and techniques for captioning. And Ricardo's here today if you need a reference. So this is a perfect segue. Our colleague Julia Troop over in SIS facilitated an international collaboration with 12 scholars from Portugal using Blackboard Collaborate. So we're going to hear a little bit from Julia now.
Hi, my name is Julia Troop.
Oh,
God, Joy, you're doing the wrong.
So you
Sorry,
did make
guys.
it bigger, Joy.
Yeah, well, at least that was something, right? Good morning. Who's not had enough coffee yet? Let's try that.
Hi, my name is Julia Trupia. I used Blackboard Collaborate last year for part of a 9-month professional training program with the Fulbright Commission. The 10 participants in the program were selected in a competitive process by the Fulbright Commission in Lansigan to participate in an intensive training on U.S. institutional exchanges and partnerships. It was intended to give international education professionals, so those working in study abroad in schools, the opportunity to assess their institutional readiness ahead of implementing an exchange plan. The idea to use Collaborate came from the director of our training program, Dr. Fonta, who also works on campus as a member of faculty and staff. She realized that while the 10 participants needed that face-to-face interaction during their training, it was not feasible for them to be away from their jobs for a 3-month period at the beginning when they would be reviewing their foundational material. So we used Collaborate to connect these individuals, many of whom did not know one another ahead of the program, for a discussion on foundational readings, videos, and other learning tools provided. After conducting an informal post-program survey, one participant said that while she was initially skeptical of the Blackboard Collaborate, she committed herself to learning them as part of the commitment to the program. And upon the close of the program, she said to me, I will look at online training in a new way after this program. To set up the series of online discussions, we met with the Blackboard team at American University, which included Scott, Joy, Mom, and Anton, all of whom were extremely helpful and receptive to our needs. Scott got the users set up with Blackboard accounts and created the way for them to build the online course. Mom offered her time to record video lectures that we could post online. Joy made us PowerPoint slides and found time to be online during the sessions to provide support to people with tech issues, and Anton helped on the back end with the user account access. We had initially explored other options such as Moodle and Camtasia, but Blackboard, being an on-campus resource, ended up being the best for our needs. Our goal is to stimulate the in-person discussion as closely as possible, and I think through the Collaborate tool, we reached that goal. Many of the participants were new computer users, so tech programs such as Collaborate were new for them, but I think they helped them feel comfortable in the live discussion setting. We did have some challenges on the front end, which included things like international dial-in setup and user account registration, but with the help of the team, those things were smoothly overcome. What I like is that we try to mimic the on-campus experience as much as possible. We can't always meet that goal, so after the online segment of their course, the 10 participants moved to Washington, D.C. to do an on-campus interactive portion of the training, and they all said that it felt like meeting for the first time. They were able to hug, embrace, and it was very impactful. The hybrid aspect of this course is an essential component of the program. As a professional myself, I work with online programs at American University. And in my program, we always emphasize the fact that the most effective learning method is a blended one, meaning that it incorporates both the online and the in-residence experience. So the only thing I would recommend to someone who's thinking about using Collaborate for the first time is that they give careful consideration to how they're going to incorporate that on-campus or asynchronous component as part of their user experience. But overall, it's been a great experience with the future.
And Julie is going to walk in this room any minute if you guys have questions for her. She's presenting with me in the next session, right after this one. So you can ask her questions as well. Our next submission is from Allison Thomas, who is in the college writing program. Allison's sitting right here. Allison uses Google Docs to collaborate with her students, and she's actually provided her submission as a Google Doc. So hopefully we won't have any other technical problems, and I can actually show this to you. If not, I've extracted her main ideas so that we can take a look at them. So we have Allison's own words, and of course you won't have time to, or they won't project either. I'll post them for you in the Blackboard site. Luckily, like Martha Stewart, I have a cake in the oven already made to show you.
So in Google Docs, you know, the AU students, they have access to Google Docs. So when you give them projects to work on, group rating assignments, they can easily collaborate in this tool. So multiple users can all be in it at the same time.
And Allison's here. So rather than reading her words, Allison, what do you feel is the most important or powerful aspect of using Google Docs with your students?
Well, for me, it's a writing class that I teach, so it's really important to me to have students be writing all the time in low stakes kind of ways. So not write this paper and submit a polished piece of writing, but get used to the process of connecting brain to page. And I really shape it that way, that the Google Doc is a chance for me to communicate with them through writing. And so I'll check, depending on what exercises they're working on, I'll check the Google Doc that they share with me. So I have a folder that I'll create for each class that I teach, and they name their Google Docs with their own names. So I've got, a folder with 19 Google Docs and then another one or whatever. And so then by the end of the semester, it becomes a really interesting way for them to look at their progress, to see sort of what was I like at the beginning, how did things end up. They have a Google Doc that's like 80 pages of writing, and that's mind blowing to them to think about something with that volume. I think it also, in terms of research, we do a lot of research in my class. I can also sort of watch what they're doing, how they're taking notes. They don't really know how to do that. How they're keeping track of their research, how they're framing their thoughts about the research that they're looking at. And so I actually feel like it's a helpful deterrent in terms of any academic integrity issues that might come up, or it helps them, I think, understand and process different ways of conducting research as well. I think also for me, I was having them do these exercises really often, and they would have to print them. And so it was creating a lot of paper for me and printing costs for them, and then I was having them email stuff to me, and that really didn't work because and I even created a whole email address just for this. It was terrible. The only thing that takes time here is that we think that students are digital natives and can sort of adapt, but they can't really that well in my experience. So I actually do have to devote some time to having them set up the document the way I want them to. So I'll take 5 or 10 minutes out of the first class or two. Part of the first assignment is to set up the document, and I'll still get kids who are setting up documents that are called writing 100. It's no, you have to call it your name, or else I can't find it. And then it helps me if I show them what it looks like in my drive, so they understand that if they're all called this, that's the problem, right? So I found that it really helps my process in terms of time and organization. But I think pedagogically, it's been a really, it's not a crazy sexy tool, because Google Docs has been around for a while, but I think it really has helped me achieve my goals.
And of course, Allison wrote this beautiful little paragraph for us because she's a writing instructor. So if you don't mind, we'll share that with the group after the session so you can read her words and refer back to them later. One of Allison's colleagues also shared with us some suggestions about other collaboration tools. These are some third-party resources that you can get easily online. So I'll share a few of the highlights. And again, we have a lovely paragraph written by a writing instructor I can share with you later. But Hunter wanted to highlight, as Allison said, that the technologies are pretty intuitive. But again, we can't assume that our students are going to know how to use them just because they're on Facebook all day. Doesn't necessarily mean those skills always map over. So it's really important to build some time into your class to providing that support for students. So Hunter mentioned that he likes to use a tool called Hypothesis for annotating web pages, PDFs, and WordPress sites. He mentioned that his students create WordPress sites as a way to share their work, and he's able to provide sort of inline comments for them using this tool. He also uses Slack for messaging and content management. In his full paragraph, which you'll have access to, he mentioned he tries to avoid Blackboard as much as possible, which is difficult for me to say because that's my bread and butter. But, we have a lot of different tools at our disposal, and there's a lot of ways to getting to the same result. So we don't necessarily discourage you from trying some of these other tools if they better meet your learning objectives and are better for your students. Mentioned the students using WordPress to publish their work, to collaborate on projects, to assemble class shared archives and documents. And finally, Zotero is a really cool tool if you're building bibliographies. And as Hunter points out in his comments, the students can collaborate on those bibliographies using that tool, and it really helps to keep them organized. And as he mentioned, he said, I wish I had that when I was in grad school. So you'll have an opportunity to read his entire statement on the Blackboard site a little bit later today.